Justice League Crisis on Two Earths is a DC animated film, and the plot of this movie, it's a little weird. I will admit that. But we see at the very beginning Lex Luthor and this character who is known as the Jester, even though he bears a striking resemblance to the Joker. We see them running away from these shadowy characters. We don't really know who they are, but they seem like heroes, right? Heroes that are going after Lex Luthor and the Joker, the two villains. Well, we quickly find out that these aren't villains. These people kill the Joker, and that this is in fact an alternate universe where the good guys, who we know them as, are the bad guys. And Lex Luthor, for example, is a good guy. And he's able to configure a contraption that takes him to our universe. He finds the Justice League, explains to them what's going on, how his world is damn near destroyed. So, of course, the Justice League decides to help him out. Now, what I thought of this movie was, I thought it was just okay. Just okay. I didn't love it, and I didn't even hate it. And it's not like you could say that I've been binge watching all of these Justice League movies, and so maybe when I see one that's not as great as the other ones, I'm lower on it. I remember seeing this a few years ago, like when it first came out, and even then I didn't love it. I think it has a little bit to do with, and probably even more so now, that DC animated stuff, whether it's their shows or their games or like a movie, they've done this alternate universe thing a lot. And it's just a weird concept to think about, right? I mean, I know it's interesting. It is interesting to think about these separate universes, parallel universes where these characters are evil, like they made opposite choices on this world. I'm not saying it's not cool when you see Ultraman, who is the evil version of Superman. I remember even Smallville did an episode like that, where what happened if Clark Kent wasn't raised by the Kents, he was raised by the Luthors and became Ultraman. Or you see Owlman, who looks a lot like Night Owl from Watchmen, and he's supposed to be the evil version of Batman. And to see somebody who's evil, but has all the intellect of Batman, all of the fighting skills, all of the technical skills. I mean, this guy is scary, especially when you see his plan at the very end, which basically involves not only blowing up the world, because you've seen that before, I mean blowing up everything, just because he wants to do something significant. Wow. Now, I will say that I did like the Justice League debating on whether or not they should even help Lex. I mean, obviously Superman doesn't trust him. Even though he's the good Lex, it's still a Luthor, and he had issues with that. And then even Batman said, I don't know if we should be wasting our time with this because we still have to worry about our Earth. And we don't have enough people in the League to fight our own battles, so we're going to go and fight this other world's battles. And there was a good portion where Batman wasn't in the movie, and I thought, oh, this kind of sucks. I mean, I like Batman having his own opinion and standing by it, but I was worried we weren't going to see him until when he does finally show up, he's a badass. There's one scene where he goes in there in this huge robot suit, because he's the only one without powers, and they're fighting the villains with powers, and he shows up, he's a badass, like when one of the female... She's talking trash, basically, tells Batman that he's outnumbered. And he does this move with the robot where he basically just makes his hand come out and go, bring it. Like, Batman is a badass. Just in that one moment. Martian Manhunter is in this story, and I found that interesting only because there's a moment where he falls in love with the president's daughter. And that was just kind of goofy and weird. I mean, I kind of liked, I guess, the idea of a woman seeing Martian Manhunter, who's an alien. He even looks like an alien. I mean, he could shapeshift. He even does at one point. But she says, no, I want to see you in your regular form. And it's like, okay, I appreciate what they're going for, but it's kind of out there and goofy, especially where she kisses him and they have this whole like touching connection. I didn't really buy it. Her father, who was the president, I'm pretty sure it was Slade Wilson. I mean, I could be wrong, but damn, if I'm wrong and he had that gray hair and the eye patch for no reason, okay, I'm an idiot. With the goatee, I mean, come on. Also, as far as the Justice League goes, they're all pretty much badasses, right? I mean, I said Batman, Superman, of course, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, even the Flash has his cool moments and he's very comedic. So they all stand out. Aquaman is useless. And I don't mean to come off as an Aquaman hater. I don't hate Aquaman. I'm not somebody who bashes Aquaman or says he's lame. Countless times people make fun of him because of his powers or the fact on he can't stay out of water for a certain amount of time. I know, it's kind of funny, but I don't make fun of him for it. I do think you can tell stories with the character, or he is interesting in certain stories. But here, he shows up for like a second, and he tries to get in on the action and fight, but he gets his ass kicked so many fucking times that I literally looked at him and said, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out of here. Leave. You're wasting space. Aquaman. Anyways, I think it's an interesting concept. I enjoyed rewatching the film because it was my second time watching it, but it's not great, especially out of all of these Justice League movies. It's one of the lower ones. I admit that. Not terrible, though. This wasn't a rant. I didn't mean to come off as a rant. Just okay. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you two have seen Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. What did you think of it? Like, comment, subscribe. Later.